Right, so today we've got a mk3 Focus Estate oil and oil filter change. Should be interesting. 1.6 diesel EcoBoost or econetic, whatever you want to call it, on a 63 plate. So the way it goes is, as it goes, you got to remove this pipe here as the oil filter. I don't know if I can get it there. Is down by there somewhere, which I'll show you once I get that bit out. So first things first, the car's been jacked up to give me extra space underneath. I've got an old parcel shelf here to lie on because I'm a lazy twat. And your oil sump is there, a little box, and I believe it is a 21mm socket. So I'll pause it here and just add as I go along. So we've removed the sump plug. It's now basically just dripping. The sump plug and the corker washer for it is there, all cleaned up, inspected. It's okay to go back on without replacing. The sump plug is a 21mm socket, not a 20, not a 22, 21. Just remember that. So while the oil is finishing dripping out, next to remove the oil filter, which is a bit of an headache, as you've got to remove this pipe. These clips are 7mm, and as you can see, I'm just using all your general cheap, nasty, everyday bits that you can buy, so you don't have to buy expensive. And let's crack on then. So I've removed, unslackened that one, just pushed it up, and it, as you can see, it's come loose. So the next stage now is to get this to come off this side, which that's in a bit of an angle there, catching on this. So if you can hold that and just point it on here. And there we go. Straight. You don't need to use like excessive force, i.e. a screwdriver under it, because at the end of the day you could end up costing yourself more money in the long run by splitting your rubber hose. Just take the time, pull it out, and away to go. So down here is where the air filter is. So I've taken air box to turbo air feed out, and then you've got this pipe, and you've got this pipe, which that's the water pipe, and I don't know what pipe that is. It's coming off the DPF, so I believe it's like a breather pipe. So just unclip that. It's got a wee clip that goes onto that pipe, so just give it a wee pull out of the way. And if you can also take, by just wiggling back and forth, this should come out. If you can, there you go. Take that one out, take your clip off, which is just our little one. We can put that up there. We'll take this clip off just for safe measure, so we don't lose anything. And that's where your air filter is, right by there. So first time on the mk3 doing it, so let's crack on and see where we go and how easy it is. So as you can see, what I've got is an oil filter removal kit. Pretty cheap, I think it was about £13 off eBay, and it's specifically for your plastic covers. And here comes the rain. There you go, it's got to be done. but just be careful because the plastic, it's easy enough to maybe break. So don't give excessive force if it doesn't move. Just take your time and be patient, it will move. And it's a 27 mil, so I'll work out how you put the links in the bottom later, and I'll put a link to the set I got. So yeah, we've got the 27 mil socket on with a 3/8 ratchet, and basically you've got from there down to there, and that's all the movement you've got. I wouldn't use an extension bar because it'll twist the socket, and you could then break your oil filler cap. Just take, like I keep saying, just take your time. There's no need to rush. If you needn't use your car, then wait until you know you've got time to do the job that you need to do, and then do it. So you're not, as you can see, that is now really loose. I can take this off. There's no point rushing it, because if you rush it, what's the main thing you're going to do? You're going to damage your car, or you're not going to put it back together correctly or anything, and then you're going to go down the road. You could have your kids in the car, something drastic goes on, and that's one thing you don't want to happen. So just take your time and work your way around it, overcome, adapt, move on, and you'll get there. This is the first time I've played with a mk3 diesel at that, so you know, I'm not a qualified mechanic, but I like playing with cars. So you know, just take your time, and then it's like happy days. You've got the job done, and prior to doing the job, just make sure you've got the correct parts for your car, rather than take things apart and then find that the part that you've ordered and has come is not the part. So that's the oil filter out there anyway, and I believe that's all is needed, is to pull it apart. If I can get this to, if I can get my phone to set there, so you just, this is a skip on, there you go, you just pull it out, and that's it done. And obviously, because you've got old oil in it, just give it a good clean, and away to go. So that's the oil filter in, airbox to turbo pipe fitted back on. Next, now to put the sump plug, dry around the drain area, clean it, put the sump plug back in, tighten that up, top it up with the recommended 3.8 to 3.9 litres of 5W30 oil, and give it a little tick over to fill the filter, and then recheck the oil. Hopefully won't have to put any more in because I've put in the recommended amount, and then replace the engine cover, and happy days. Oil and oil filter service done. So that's the oil filter and the housing on. Oil sump plug back in, oil in, ran up to fill the oil filter up. Now to leave the oil drain back into the sump pan, check that there's no leaks from the sump pan plug, and happy days.